Hey guys, this is the Professor. Now I'd like to welcome you to Log Cabin Baking Mix Part 6. What we're doing today is making some cornbread. Now back in the 1830s, when my great-great-grandparents first came to this part of the country, cornbread was a staple because they raised a lot more corn than any other grain. This particular cornmeal here is stone ground in a mill that was owned by Mary Ann's great-great-grandparents. It's been preserved down through the Childers family for years, and every year in September the Childers family gets together and has a grinding day. So we got some of this stone ground cornmeal. Works really great. Of course, for our recipe today, any cornbread, any cornmeal that you have will make good cornbread. So first of all, we start out with 1/2 cup. We've sifted this several times, and what we'll add to that then is about 2/3 of a cup of our log cabin baking mix. I can see that it's about time to refill our jar here, because that jar is empty. Now to our other dry ingredients here, we're going to add a couple teaspoons of sugar. What works really well for that are a couple of these small packets that come with the different condiment kits, coffee and so on. 2 teaspoons sugar make our cornbread real good. We also need some baking soda. Now back in the 1830s, baking soda was available. It was known as saleratus back then. Baking powder hadn't yet been invented, so this will be an authentic touch from the 1830s as well. Stir this up a little bit. Oh, here's a little package of salt. Let's go ahead and put that in. Now, of course, you know that log cabin mix is proportioned perfectly, but when you add the cornmeal, it's going to need a little bit of leavening, a little bit of salt, and so on to carry that. So we're using soda for that. Now to work with the soda, we're going to need some sour milk. Now of course, if you milked a cow and you had some milk sat out without refrigeration, it would eventually go sour, and so we would have a use for that here if we had some sour milk today. This sour milk has been especially created, a half cup of milk plus a teaspoon of vinegar to make our own sour milk. So we'll go ahead and we'll add that in. Also, we need to add in our egg here. And get that all mixed up into our cornbread mix. Okay, now that we're mixed up, we'll go ahead and put that into our small size 2-quart Dutch. And we sprayed the inside of that with a generous coating of Pam or spray oil so that it doesn't stick on the inside. Okay, now we've got our batter in the Dutch oven. Just like typically with all Dutch oven cooking, the first rule is a few coals on the bottom and lots of coals on the top. We'll go ahead and start the timer. Our cornbread should be done in 20 to 25 minutes. Let's check in on the cornbread. Cornbread's been baking now for about 25 minutes. Lift the lid on there and we say, wow, look at that. It's baked to a golden brown. It's going to be great. Let's cut a slice and see what it looks like. Okay, our cornbread is done to perfection here now. As you can see, we're brown on the top. We didn't get burnt on the bottom. Everything is looking about as perfect as we would want. So we'll have that with a dollop of butter and some of our country sorghum. That'll go great with our ham and beans. This is the Professor, and I'll see you soon.